Our society is not a hospitable place for families. Parents have to work long hours and end up neglecting their children. Spouses are constantly tempted to seek affection in new places. Young people are bombarded with negative messages about their self-worth. As we're all increasingly isolated from one another, maintaining a strong relationship with the people closest to you is vital for emotional thriving. And it's hard to be a good dad and a good husband. Sometimes I suck at it, but I'm always growing, so I want to share some of the things that have helped me to improve over the years. So when I was a teenager and figuring out who I wanted to become in this life, a goal that is still far from complete, I settled on some values that have stuck with me for the past few decades. Here's what I told myself over and over again in my early adulthood, and I still tell myself today. Principle number 1. If I fail at anything, I won't fail as a husband. This means that I take my marriage vow seriously, and I stick with my wife no matter what. I am committed to that oath, for better or for worse. But I also want my wife to thrive, and that means being sensitive to her needs and prioritizing her as my wife and partner. Now, her personality is very different than mine, and sometimes I'm completely lost as to how to best relate to her. But here's one tip that works every time. Listen to your spouse with genuine curiosity. If I can just put my pride aside for one moment, stop being defensive, and just listen to her perspective and her feelings, we almost always find a way to work through our differences and misunderstandings. Principle number 2, if I fail at anything, I will not fail as a father. When my children are grown, I want them to look back at their childhood and remember all of the time that I spent with them, teaching them, playing with them, encouraging them, and experiencing new things together. The last thing I want is for them to look back and say, yeah, my dad just worked a lot. That would break my heart. This doesn't mean that I should do everything my kids ask of me. I still have other responsibilities, and I have to say no sometimes. But I do try to say yes more than no. And most importantly, I create intentional one-on-one time with each child so that they know I enjoy being with them as individuals. Experts say that this focused individual time supersizes a child's confidence and self-worth. Spending quality time with people is the best way to maintain healthy relationships. Again, I am not a perfect husband or father, just ask my family. But living by these principles reminds me daily that my priority in life is to invest in my wife as a person and invest in my children as they develop and grow. Principle number 3, I need community. Earlier in my life, I idolized that isolated, lonely hero in popular movies and novels, that solo expert who would come in and save the day when the bad guys showed up. But that noble hero who lives alone and isolated is a complete myth. Real heroes are engaged with other people, giving and receiving and sharing life with other humans. Your family does need your time. But in order to be the most healthy and thriving family member, a father, a sister, grandparent, friend, you also should be part of a wider community of people who are similar to you but also different. So embrace community, whether it's a church, a sports team, a political party, or a book club. Community provides external support when we need help, accountability to be your best self, and fresh perspectives to keep you sharp. It's easy for me to forget this truth sometimes, and my wife has to remind me often that prioritizing time with other friends is part of me being a healthy father and husband. Oh, there's one more bonus principle that I have held on to that I'll throw in for free. So principle number 4, everything in moderation and balance. We can overemphasize anything too much in life to where it becomes an unhealthy imbalance. I can spend so much time with my wife that I make my kids feel neglected, or vice versa. I can spend so much time with my family that I neglect making money and then we go bankrupt. In my opinion, one of the most difficult tasks of life, one that no one gets right all of the time, is that of balancing our responsibilities and priorities. You won't be perfect at it, but if you're mindful of moderation and balance, you will significantly improve the strength of your relationships. For me, the main balancing act is between the 3 aspects of helping my family to thrive physically, emotionally, and financially. So to recap and rephrase the 4 principles that I live by to help my family thrive. Principle number 1, stay committed to your spouse or partner. Principle number 2, spend intentional time with your children and loved ones. Principle number 3, be engaged in a larger community. And principle 4, do everything with moderation and balance. While I am not the perfect husband or father, prioritizing those roles in my life has helped me a lot. It seems like there's a lot of people out there who need more information about parenting, or just need to see that parenting is messy and it's okay. So I hope that this channel can provide some of that. If you have found value in this, please like and subscribe. Also, please leave a comment on other topics related to being part of a family. Now go take care of your family.